So imagine this. You wake up, you go to school, and in the atrium you see hundreds of people crowd together, among them your friends, sharing new thoughts, ideas, experiences. Why not join in and gain new knowledge? Oh wait, there's a small rectangular device right in your pocket. You may not think it, but your instinct goes, who cares about social connection? I'll just pull up Twitter. And so you do, diving into the inescapable world of the media. Most consider modern media to be a means of efficient communication. Think about it. Before its invention, we needed to put strenuous effort into communicating with someone hundreds of miles away. Now, we can do that in a snap, and even to millions of people at once, thanks to modern media. Despite this, people have different meanings for what media is. In this society, the media is incredibly ubiquitous, especially among young people. To put it in perspective, 620 million people ages 10 to 29 use TikTok daily. According to the World Economic Forum, 46% of teenagers use social media almost constantly in 2022, as compared to 24% in 2014 to 2015. Throughout a person's early development, they experience the process of neuroplasticity, which involves a rapid development of one's worldview and knowledge. The earlier the age, the more effective neuroplasticity is. A study by Patty M. Valkenburg, professor at Amsterdam School of Communications Research in the Netherlands, details the decrease of requests for advertised products throughout people's maturity, specifically stating that children's requests for advertised products decrease as they mature 1, 14, 24, 26. Advertisements work to entice people to purchase a product or service. Similarly, content from the media, be it a news report or the latest TikTok trend, entices people to look at more, generating revenue for corporations and influencers. Along with how the media itself influences young people to use it more, there are also outside factors. For example, a study conducted by Alexis R. Lauricella of the Erickson Institute in Chicago and Drew P. Single of the University of California Davis Department of Communication found that parent media use and the media attitudes were strongly related to youth media use. Among all of the people who influence the actions and beliefs of the young, parents have the most significant impact.
It's one tool among many. I think media, generally speaking, I think it's also inescapable at this point. I'm going to use PowerPoint, I'm going to use the interactive big board, and really, you could argue that whiteboards are still part of the media aspect. It's just obviously more of an analog version. But when it comes to Google Classroom and videos and creative problem solving or creative assignment planning, things like that, it's inescapable to use it, but as far as like media that would be attractive to students, that's imitating the TikToks and the Twitters and the social networks and things like that, I think those are tools to use, but they're all sort of still grasping at straws to try to leverage this whole hey, here's what you're already interested in, students. We're going to try to copycat that in some way, but make it educational. I think sort of the social media aspect nowadays is so fast moving, so fast paced, and attention here, attention there, squirrel over there, big tree, school bus.
Media, well, we're kind of susceptible to it from an early age. Growing up in the information age, we kind of have it flying at us from all sides. And how I view it is, there's always a need for media. There's always a need for media, and you can see it all around. You can see it in books. You can see it in, nowadays we have all these electronics, and so, there's a lot of harmful aspects of media. But overall, me personally, I think that it's a very powerful thing. It can derive power, and it can actually take away power. But as a form of communication, as a form of information, it's very helpful to the generations.
So the this is a definition that doesn't really that can be answered without having to use the neuro terms, but media is defined or refers to like any sort of channel or platform that communicates information about a topic or provides entertainment, and there are different forms.
Well, we're not getting rid of it. It's sort of the AI conundrum. Is where we pull the plug.
Oh yeah.
I think you've got to come up with stopgaps and regulations that help adapting. Adaptation is probably the most underserved aspect of our humanity. We try to do it with climate change, and we don't do it enough with climate change. We just seek to end it and close the book. I think with this type of thing too, it's just not helpful to look at this as a problem that will be shut by closing doors. You know, eliminating, banning, blocking, all this other stuff. That's never been anything. When you try to extinguish a fire, usually with just some sweeping fell swoop, you just end up spreading the flames elsewhere. So it's generally not a good idea. What's better is adaptation or convincing. You got to provide a more compelling argument, because people can be convinced if they are compelled by the argument. And you know, sometimes they stand in their lanes, but those who are flexible and not totally rigid and stubborn will find and see the other things. But you got to come up with a compelling case and present your facts and arguments. You've got to just try to punch holes over and over. Once again, I don't think shutting it down is ever the solution.
Your environment is a constant reminder that you are always subject to it. You know, whatever you are surrounded yourself by, what people, what influences, and especially nowadays with all these electronics, you know, whatever your computer is constantly transmitting, whatever your phone is transmitting, you know, that is what's going to consume you. So I guess my advice is that, you know, go outside, you know, touch some grass. And there's constantly streams of new information that you can find that isn't a facet of the media. You know, it doesn't have to come straight from a biased source. You know, just find meaning, you know, your own self in your own way, and you know, you can find that by hobbies and reading and you know, game.
Healthy alternatives, outdoor play. I mean, encouraging play, reading. I mean, turning some of these things into some sort of reading. Or I mean, there are plenty of YouTube videos I use now for my own kids where we'll have them read. We'll watch these YouTube videos of them reading children's books, especially in the car rides, right? Where there's sort of this in-between space. But sometimes we just have to tell them, sorry, we're not watching this, we're not listening to that, we're just going to sit in quiet, because it's good to be bored. Being bored is great in developing your imagination and ability to think. And not just like old school TV show mom might say, it's okay to be bored, it helps you develop imagination. Like literally, fibers and connections in your brain are developing strength and plasticity when you are bored, and you must struggle through the boredom.
You know, it's all about your environment and what you put yourself in. And if you find interest and if you find meaning in books, then put your nose in a book. Nothing's wrong with being a bookworm. And then also, I mean, people have hobbies all the time that gets them away from media and the influence of others. You know, a lot of people have to learn to be satisfied within themselves and of themselves. You know, and you know, a lot of times you can't find that with other people. You know, because they're living their life and they're, you know, spewing information about what they like to do. And I guess my biggest form of advice is find what you like to do, find your morality in other things, go outside, take a deep breath, go find a hobby. You know, I mean, that's a great way to get away from the harmful effects of the media.